What's up, everybody? Welcome to ZB Trading, and today we're going to be talking about how to trade consolidation in the market. Now, most of the time, you're going to hear people say, do not trade consolidation. You will get chopped up. You will lose money. And for the most part, they are correct. Even if you have like a year under your belt, maybe even two, if you trade chop, you will most likely lose and you will get bent over. Now, I have a rule when it comes to consolidation, and I would say it is a pretty good rule, and I'm gonna try to find you guys some examples, multiple examples here on what I mean and what to look out for when trading consolidation. Now, there's also different types of consolidation. Now, today, this is one of my favorite types of consolidation. If you guys look at all of this stuff going on right now, it is FOMC, and I think there's like two other things going on. Do not trade news. Do not trade FOMC because it is just as bad as trading chop. You will lose money. Now, there are some theories when it comes to trading FOMC, and they always say trade the fade. Now, the reason I wanted to talk about chop is because one of my favorite consolidation patterns, whatever you want to call it, has happened today. I did not trade it. I woke up. I was very tired. I have not been going to bed early. I have not been getting my sleep. When I saw this, I knew that it was going to go down, but I'm just not confident in myself today. Like I said, I haven't gotten enough sleep, so I just didn't want to trade it. I just left the screen and I just went back to bed. I did trade yesterday, but I'm not going to do a recap on it just because it was like a scalp. It was like $100 scalp, and I feel like showing people $100 scalp is just not worth it. Not really much skill behind it, right? It was just a small scalp. And when it comes to trading consolidation, you don't just want to get calls and puts, although it could possibly work. Let's say you draw a trend line like this, and then you draw a trend line like this, something like that maybe. Let's see how well we can get it. Something like that. And you're like, okay, when it comes down, I'm going to get calls. When it comes up, I'm going to get puts. You could possibly do that. Maybe like one time, maybe twice. Now, although I do not recommend doing that, if you wanted to, I guess you could try. Now, when it comes to trading consolidation for me, I look for consolidation that I've seen before. Random consolidation, not something like this, okay? Not this. This, to me, is gibberish, right? Someone else might see something in it, though. So this, I've seen this chop multiple times, and I like to call this chop a chop drop. The reason you're probably wondering is why I call it a chop drop is because, as you can see, the market moves down. It does this chop where it descends, but it's still chopping. And then eventually it enters this flow state where it just starts to go down. So I like to call this the chop drop. Now, when you look at this right here, you might see absolutely nothing. But what I see is there is a certain part in this chop where they have done manipulation, which tells you the chop is about to end. So as we see here, the market in the morning went down. So it's giving you the direction of, hey, we're going down. And then it immediately started this chop. But the only reason this buying is starting to happen is because there is manipulation. Now, this here is manipulation. Right here. This is manipulation. The reason this is manipulation is if you take a trend line and you do this, most beginner traders are thinking it's breaking upwards. We need to start buying calls. We're seeing buying power here. But this is simply manipulation, or in other words, a fake out. I like to call it a fake out, but manipulation works too, one or the other. So as you can see, as soon as it hits this manipulation, and you'll know it'll be manipulation or a fake out, because it literally breaks the trend line and then it starts to reject immediately. Now, it doesn't have to reject immediately. It can possibly come up here a little bit more and then reject. It's pretty much trying to convince people that it is going to go upwards. Now, when you see this chop pattern, you have to see which direction the market is going. If this was going up instead of down like this in the morning, then this probably wouldn't go downwards. This would probably be a chop pop. It would look a little differently than this, but it would be ascending, doing the chop, and then there would possibly be manipulation towards the bottom, and then it would start going up. Now, obviously, this isn't the case for when this happens all the time, right? There's other days where it's just a big red candle at open and then it goes up. I'm talking about for this specific chop pattern. And for the people that don't believe me when I say a chop pattern, try to find this chop pattern in the past, and you will most likely see that there is a manipulation phase and it drops. This is why I call it the chop drop. So it's chopping, it's chopping, it's chopping. You start to see buying. Maybe you fall for it, right? If you're a beginner, it starts to slowly reverse. And you're like, what's going on? And then you see this and you're like, oh, it's okay. It's a higher low. We're coming up. And then it goes down again. Maybe you want to wait for a second rejection like here. And then you enter right here. And with this chop pattern is you know that it will break the previous lows. Previous lows, previous support, whatever you want to call it, you know that it will break this. Every time you see this happen with this manipulation, it's safe to hold past the lows. It will break the previous lows. So let's say you enter here. Let's say you enter here. I mean, maybe you enter late. You enter here because your confidence wasn't good. Maybe you enter up here on a pullback. Doesn't matter. You know that it is breaking this and it is going to make a new low. There's a lot of beginner traders that will probably want to enter after this candle too, because they're like, oh my God, it's breaking the previous lows. So boom, we got confirmation here. We're entering, but they only get this. And you don't have to get the entire trade when you're trading. You're just looking for a part of the trade. So they're not really wrong to enter here. The market doesn't always have to execute the way you want it to, but I would say 9 out of 10 that I have seen this chop pattern, it has always broken the previous support, previous lows, whatever, and it has came downwards. I'm probably looking to take profit around here at 562.10 or 561.80 or like 561.50, somewhere in this general area. So simply think continuation, and with this, think this is manipulation. Hope you guys enjoyed.